Well, ladies and gentlemen, not the exact start to the season we were looking for after yesterday's debacle. The debacle just got more debacled, if that's a word. I don't even know. But welcome into the Fightins final. I'm Big Al, bringing you the second Fightins final of the season on game 2 of the season against the Atlanta Braves. And the Phillies are just making it real difficult to get excited for this season. The Phillies fell to the Atlanta Braves 12-4. They are now 0-2 on the season. And when it rains, it pours. Except today, when it rains, it just rained. But enough to have about a 35 minute delay, and brought us to today's 12-4 massacre. Uh, After yesterday, the biggest complaint was the bullpen sucks. Well, the bullpen sucked again today. The starting pitching sucked again today. The batting was better, but not much. Um, this team looks like it needs to go back down to Florida and marinate a little bit more. And they're just not ready. Whatever it is, they're not ready. Um, I don't know how to sugarcoat this one at all. Even doing a solo show is hard. When they win, it's a little easier, but when they lose and lose bad, these are difficult to try to come up with anything interesting to talk about. But like I said, for those who are just joining in, 12-4 loss for the Phillies today. In the afternoon was delayed a little by rain, and then the rain started coming down towards the end. But thank God it didn't do a rain delay in the last ninth inning. That was what I was afraid of. I'm like, that would just been the twisting of the knife, the salt in the wound at that point. Yeah, no, the Phillies lose today in bad way. If I came out and I said to you guys, guess what? Max Fried's on the hump for the Phillies or for the Braves against the Phillies, and he can't even get through one inning. You'd be like, oh, it's a good day for the Phillies. Well, Aaron Nola struggled as well. He went a few extra innings, but he still struggled each way through. And then when we went to the bullpen, I don't know what these MLB rankings had at the beginning of the season. They saw something that we haven't been able to see yet. Maybe the bullpen didn't get the message, so you can check the phone and see if the bullpen phone's getting clear signal, because they didn't get the message. But there's some things to go through. And Dibes, I hope you are absolutely correct on this one. Can Ranger Suarez be the perfect medicine for tomorrow? Can they salvage game 3 and not take a sweep to start the season like they did? What was it in last year, right? 2023. They started 0-3. Hopefully, we can get through that, especially against a divisional team. Outscored 21-6 in 2 games. What will tomorrow bring, Jeff? God only hopes something better, because that's the only thing. Maybe it being a holy day, Easter Sunday, everybody can pray with their families together. Everybody goes to church on Easter Sunday that normally don't always go to church, and maybe throw an extra couple prayers to the Phillies organization or Phillies fans, because we're going to need it. I'm going to go through some parts of this, just to kind of really, not to dig in on it, but really to get you to understand how bad this is. But before I do that, I want to let you know that this Fightins Final is brought to you by the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, 5400 Fern Boulevard, Drexel Hill, PA, 19026, the Holiday Inn Suites at the Drexel Brook Event Center. That's right. They are our newest sponsors. Great place to have a night out, some drinks, a meal, or if you need a great hotel to stay at or put friends and family up at, or throw in a major event like a wedding, you can go to the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, as well as the Holiday Inn and Suites at the Drexel Brook Event Center in Drexel, PA. And they will be the host, the first live on location pre and post game Fightins Finals on April 7th. That's a week from tomorrow. And we also will be giving out some great free ticket giveaway at that. So it gives you a reason to come out. Even if they're not doing good, there's a chance to come out and win some great Phillies tickets. We'll be announcing the tickets and all that, like the team and the location tickets, which are all great. Your ones you're not going to miss up. They're not just some junk tickets for junk teams that you're not going to want to see in the middle of a Wednesday afternoon. There are some good tickets you got to check out. So come by to the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, and we'll have a good time. Let's hit some of these up. I blame Tobias Harris. Sure, we can blame Tobias Harris for this one, and why not? Prayer is more like 3-day fast. Geesh. Yeah, well, you're going to need it. You're going to need something. Something needs a jolt their system. A couple times it looked like it was going to happen. But that wasn't the case tonight, or this afternoon into the evening. The game started, like I said, it's about a 3-hour game, just a little under 3 hours. It started about 30 minutes late. But I want to go through some of these box scores. I'm going to go through some of these, and I'm going to talk about Atlanta for a second because I want to point this out. I know it's only 2 games, and looking at batting averages and ERAs, it doesn't do you any real justice. But just to kind of really get an idea of what kind of bludgeoning that this team has done to this team, the Phillies, in the last couple of days. Acuna Jr. is a .556 batting average. Albies has a mere 333. Riley is the only one who's doing like one of the worst ones at a 111. Olsen a 400. Ozuna at a 100. Harris with a 667. Arcia with a 667. Darnod at 167. And Klenick is at a 667. Today's totals. I'm going to give you the totals for the Braves. 12 runs off 19 hits with the 12 RBIs, 3 walks, and only 5 Ks. Now, we talked about the Phillies yesterday going over this. Yes, Brian, embarrassing is the least is where it gets. It's going to get more embarrassing, so just buckle up for a second. Mitch is seconding the Dibes Tobias Harris comment. Let's go through this for a second. We have 4 runs off 8 hits, 4 RBIs, 5 walks, and only 4 strikeouts. After 14 or 15 strikeouts yesterday, that is an improvement. But where there was an improvement, maybe a little bit more in the batting tonight, which we'll get into in a moment. But right now, it is just this team looks like they're still in spring training mode. Now I know there was the talk about the sickness that these guys didn't get as much time down there, but I'm sorry. It's an ugly. They look really ugly. And like I said, I feel like they need to go back down to spring training and they need to go kind of remarinate, get back into it or something. I don't know. Looking forward to opening day. The last 2 spring training games have been ugly. Yeah. We all look forward to it. Couldn't wait for opening day to happen. And this is what happens. Braves keep winning. Yeah, I mean, we were hoping to come out to a better start. Now, listen, again, I understand 2 games. There's still 160 left. It's just not a good start, and it's hard to get behind a team when there's bad. So let's look at the stat line today for the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber had 1 run, 1 hit, no RBIs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Turner had no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Harper had 1 run, 1 walk. Realmuto had a good day today. He was 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout. Bohm was a big offer today. Castellanos had 1 hit, 1 RBI, and 1 walk. Stott had 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Merrifield had 1 walk today, and Rojas 1 strikeout with a bunch of offers to go to show for it. Not great. Better, but not great. And these are like not baseball scores. You don't want to see 12-4 wallopings. Aaron loves to give up the long ball. Walt, absolutely. It is kind of his MO, but they kept him out. And I understand we're going to get into that a couple of the key moments and break all this down, how this all went, all this transpired, but it's nauseating. You got a guy like Max Fried on the mound, and you were able to. He can't even get through the first inning, and you can't capitalize on that. That is a problem. Seemed like the Braves got fired up after the Phillies were gifted 3 runs in the first. We all saw Castellanos strikeout looking. Eli, I tweeted that out during the game. I said that was a gift to Castellanos. They capitalized, and it must have just poked the bear in the Braves and really irked them. Darren's checking in, taking off a quarter of the year again. Laughing stock of the league. Stop text me privately, not interested. Ashton John. I guess that's supposed to be funny or a joke. I don't know. Not sure what that means, but okay. Let's look at the Braves box score. Acuna Jr. 2 runs, 3 hits. Albies was 2 runs, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Riley had 1 hit with 2 strikeouts. Olsen had 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI, and a strikeout. Ozuna had 1 run, 1 hit, 3 RBIs and a strikeout. Harris had 3 runs, 3 hits, 3 RBIs, a walk, and a strikeout. Arcia had 1 run, 3 hits, 1 walk. Denard had 1 run, 1 hit, 2 RBIs. And Clinic had 1 run, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, 1 walk. With, like I said, with a stat line of 12 runs, 19 hits, 12 RBIs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Not good. Not good. Well, tell Matty B only 4 strikeouts pitching is awful, like I said yesterday. Yeah, like I said, they went from 15 to strikeouts day 1 to 4 strikeouts in day 2, and the number's just as crooked between them. So there's 7-run difference, strikeouts or no strikeouts. This team just it wasn't there today, and it's hard to explain. It really is. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to sugarcoat it. I guess there really isn't. But yeah, that is your box score. So let's talk a little pitching for a second. Let's get to it. Like I said, this is kind of the story of the game was the pitching. Well, the pitching was bad on at least in the beginning for the Braves, and the Phillies didn't capitalize. So maybe the story for the Phillies is not capitalizing on opportunities. They did capitalize on a gift from the ump who, like, I mean, this wasn't a strikeout that was just on the corner and he got lucky. You know, Casty was walking out on that one. He was walking out. That was like almost dead center, and they called that a ball somehow. Like, if I'm the Braves manager, I know it's game 2 of the season. I'm out there lighting up that ump. There was some calls that went both ways, but that definitely, if it wasn't for that bad call, this would be worse. We'd probably be dead 12-1. You know, it'd be like 2 other runs right off the board right there, or 3 other runs, I should say. So they were gifted. You got Max Fried went 2/3 of an inning. 2/3 of an inning. Let up 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout with an ERA of 40.50. You know, and then you're like, all right, man, maybe a little payback for yesterday. Aaron Nola wasn't having that. Now, he went 4 and a third innings, but let up 12 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs with a 14.54 ERA. That is unacceptable. Now, I get it. Like, oh, well, he signed that big contract. He wasn't worth the contract. Again, it's 1 game, but it's just not. It's not a good start, and there's nothing that's good to talk about this game. It was a pathetic game, pathetically played by a bunch of people, and it was just a it was a mess in so many different ways. Audrey, thank you for popping in. Let's go Flyers. Yeah, hopefully you guys are all watching the Flyers right now. Something worth watching. We'll check in on that, and stay tuned for later because you'll get Pat Bernard and Mike Lauro joining in to talk the clear the ice to talk about the final of that game. Hopefully there'll be a win because right now Philly sports are not having a great last 24 to 48 hours. So, Ortiz came out in relief, went 2/3 of the inning. Looked like he twisted his ankle, getting out of the first jam that Nola left him in. And then when he came back out, he was just letting he just had no control. When he tried to plant his foot, he looked like he was in a lot of pain. He let up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. And then, you're hoping some of the guys we didn't see yesterday would have better days. Sir Anthony, nope. 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, and a home run allowed with an 18 ERA. Marte, again, having one of the better outings of anybody in our bullpen right now, with a 0 ERA, with only let up 1 walk today. Soto came out with 1 inning, 1 hit, and Brogdon, again, just not looking good. 1 inning with 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 1 home run allowed. And that would be your final stat line for the pitching for the Phillies. After Max Fried came, he kind of fell apart. Chavez came in. I mean, guy's like 40 years old. He came in and just tried to salvage the game. Let up only 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout, and 1 home run. Other than that, Matzek, Lee, and Iglesias all did really well today. The only one who let up anything was I'm sorry, it was Lee. Actually, I'm sorry. He had yeah, that was it. Nope, that was it. The only one to let anything up was Max Fried and Chavez. That's right. I'm sorry, looking at the wrong stat line. Um, it's just it's nauseating. It is nauseating. There's this team. I mean, we see how these people come out and 44,000 plus sell out these home opening games, and then they just it's so flat, so cold. Mike's checking in here. Flyers are 2-0 after one. Not a great start to that. Bryce going all out scares me. Don't want him to get hurt. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, Walt. Sal checking in. Sal Jafita checking in. Hey, guys, good news is we got 6 more years, Homer Nola. Oh, that's good news, apparently. Guys, I want to remind you that this is brought to you by, and actually, here we go. It was brought to you by cherryinjurylaw.com. Cherry Injury Law, David R. Cherry is a man, workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law. Things go wrong in life, as we've seen today. The Phillies might need to find the criminal who stole their talent and their know-how to play baseball. And they need a good lawyer, need some good legal representation. Some fans might want their money back for the tickets that they bought, and they might need some good legal representation. Well, for all your legal needs, David R. Cherry is your man at 610-565-0300, cherryinjurylaw.com. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law, all life-changing moments. 610-565-0300. Call David R. Cherry now or go to his website at cherryinjurylaw.com. So, guys, like I said, there's a whole new little format here at EOP. So let's get down to the Broad Street bottom line. There is a lot of bottom lines to go over here. I mean, the bottom line is the Phillies stunk it up big time today. Star Wars 99, Phillies need to be better. Understatement of the year. Phil's giving up 10.5 runs a game. Sheesh. Yes, Al, that's not a stat line you want. Nola went as long as he did because they couldn't afford to burn through the bullpen again. No, I mean, Matty B, that's absolutely correct. It's they went through so many guys yesterday, and then Nola, they knew he wasn't going to go more than maybe 4. I mean, 4 was pushing. I'm surprised it went that long. I thought 2, 3 tops. But let's go through some of these bottom lines. It was a debauchery from the get. It was a menagerie of ridiculousness, or whatever term you want to use. So let's start with some of these first inning moments. It all started off with an Alec Bohm error, which allowed the first home run from Aaron Nola, 2-run home run from Ozzie Albies, they made us pay for that error from Alec Bohm, and then the Bryce Harper situation. I mean, yeah, got to be careful. I mean, somebody said I don't like when he goes all out. I'm afraid he's going to get hurt. But that's the way he plays, But like we kind of saw this when he started playing first base. I think it was in Cleveland. Didn't he fall into a well there? But Bryce Harper, he's trying to track down a fly ball towards the dugout, towards the camera well more, I should say. And the first part, they probably should raise those fences, maybe another 6 inches or so, because that's right at a guy his height's hip, and he hits it and he flips over. I mean, if you slow motion this video, you can see his feet in the air where his head should be. And luckily, it's not a deep fall, but it's onto like that aluminum metal staging area. So luckily, he was able to get up and get back to it, and still playing the game. So far, not noticing any real pain or any injuries. I know they pulled him out at the end there, but hopefully it's just for precautionary reasons. But that was it. Then, all right, well, so here's the Phillies' chances to come up, and Max Fried struggles mightily. 43 pitches in the first inning. He's pulled after those 43 pitches. Kyle Schwarber Nick Castellanos was gifted big time. Gifted with which should have been a strikeout, where they probably don't capitalize on anything. And he's actually ended up walked in a run because of this Max Fried walks in the run because of this gift, because it was strike three. Absolutely. Any Braves fans popping in going, oh, you Phillies fans, you got lucky with those three. I'm sure nobody cares about them after you win by 12 to 4. But, it, you know, it was pretty cool. You see Kyle Schwarber stealing third. You see Castellanos get lucky. You see Max Fried falling apart. Key moment, right? Turning point. Phillies, they capitalize on this and get back that win yesterday and wash the taste out of our mouth. No, absolutely not. Aaron Nola comes out in the second, struggles, gives up more runs, has no deception in his pitching whatsoever. Everything is either outside or not over the plate, and anything over the plate is it's batting practice. That's exactly what it is. Let's see. Rudy Poo is popping in here. Where do you want us to add to? Al, the team is not as good as you think. Listen, I don't think the team is as bad as you think, Mr. Rudy Poo. They're just that bad right now. I mean, again, second game, I'm trying not to get super negative, but this is a negative game. There's not a lot to talk about. And I understand, Mr. Rudy Poo, that you're looking pretty correct right now. 10 games from now, we could be, 8-2, and this is a non question. And maybe the what's it called? The bullpen figures some stuff out, and the bats start hitting. I don't know. But to say this team just after 2 games is just that bad, and they're not going to go anywhere, and they're not going to win, and they're not going to make the playoffs, that's a tough pill to swallow. But they are really bad right now. They're not as good as I think they should be, and they could be. There's a difference. This team has the talent and the ability to do so, Mr. Rudy Poo. You're trying to tell me that they are not good at all. They're not going to be good at all. They're not going to be able to win. Listen, they went to the NLC. They went to the World Series 2 years ago, NLCS last year. This team is good, but definitely has some flaws that they got to be able to work out, and hopefully, turn things around with what they have currently. Again, 2 games, but we'll come back on in a couple post game or 5, 6, 7 more post games, and then if they're still playing like this, then you could throw your "I told you so"s at me. But right now, they are playing bad, without a doubt, playing real bad. But to sit here and tell me this team is, whatever, the future of this team isn't good right now. It's tough. You don't bring back most of the guys who choked last postseason. This is not a run it back roster. Yeah, it kind of is a run it back roster. You Bryce Harper, you're going to run back. JT, got a lot better at the end of the year. You're going to run him back. I mean, not JT, Trey Turner. JT, there's not one guy that you got young guys, and Stott are getting better, and Bohm are getting better. Maybe in these first 2 games, you're not seeing that total package. But this team in the last 3 years has made more moves, spent more money on big ticket name guys who play their positions at the top of the game. Not right now, not over the last 2 games. And like I said, just going by these 2 games, you're absolutely right. We got to go a little further into the year before you can throw they're not a run back team, because same things was being said last year in April and in May. Then June came and things changed. Same thing the year before. Do I want it to work out that way? No. Could it work out that way? Why not? 3 years. What's the 3rd year in a row? Why change this recipe? Apparently, they don't seem to be bothered by it. But to tell me that this team isn't good enough to run it back is ridiculous at this point. Like, this team is good. The Phillies are really good. Braves are better. Sad to say. Yeah, I'll agree with that, Sal. The Braves are a better team, and they're playing much better right now. They are more prepared to play right now than the Phillies are, without a doubt. I think most teams are more prepared to play than the Phillies are. And Dive said a little earlier, maybe Ranger Suarez is the medicine that we need to bounce back and at least salvage not getting swept in this first series of the first series of the season. Let's hope that's it. But you have to get the bats in order, and you gotta hope they continue to move up, not take a day off, because they got a little better today than they were yesterday, but not good enough. And Rangers got to go 6 or 7, and even then, I mean, who in our bullpen right now do we trust? Who in our bullpen do we trust right now? That is the problem. Not as the biggest problem. This team is not good enough in general. Not good enough for what? Not good enough to compete for a postseason bid. Not good enough to compete and make a run in the postseason. Not good enough to go to the World Series. Not good enough to win the World Series. how far would you say Mr. Rudy Poo? And I love Mr. Rudy Poo, guys. I'm not arguing with him, but he's got a point, and he's got his reasons to feel this way. But at the same time, we have to understand in 162 games, this is a small blip on the radar. And if we start seeing this more consistently in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games down the line, then there's the panic button comes in. Hope Turnbull pitch good on Tuesday. Well, let's just get through tomorrow before we worry about what Turnbull can do and Christopher Sanchez and all that. Miss Rudy Poo, not a World Series contenders. We didn't add anything. Literally zero impact guys. Well, we didn't add anything, but Aaron Nola was one of the biggest pitching prospects out there, and you re-signed him. You're able to keep him in your organization. That is still a big thing. You're able to lock down Zach Wheeler. That is still a big move. I honestly thought, Mr. Rudy Poo, they were going to get Jordan Montgomery. I really thought that was going to happen. I was like, I could almost bet the house on it. Thank God I didn't, I guess. But to sit there and say they are not World Series contenders right this second, yeah, no, of course not. But if this team rights its ship, it is absolutely a World Series contender. Reds, Nationals, Cardinals, Rockies next. Should be a 4 to 5 games over after these games. Well, I mean, listen, that's if they get things right. Like I don't like doing that. Walt I understand what you're saying. The team, the competition is not as stiff as is the Braves, but that's not how it should be. They should be able to hang with the Braves, and we know they always tend to play not great against them in the regular season. I was hoping maybe to see a little scheme, a little theme change, I should say. But Reds, Nationals, Cardinals, Rockies. I understand what you're saying. The teams aren't that good, but do you know what? It's baseball. Anything can happen. If our bullpen doesn't kind of get itself even mildly better, it doesn't matter who we're playing. They're not going to do well. Sal saying, yeah, Merrifield was a great signing. Not a big splashy signing, a 1-year deal, but a very good signing. I mean, listen, he didn't do too much today, but they did, sign him, and he is a very good everyday player who can impact a team. This team is bad mentally. Our real leader plays for the Brew Crew. Listen. I was waiting for the first Rhys Hoskins comment. And listen, I love that Rhys is out there playing against the Mets, looking really good right now. And I like Rhys Hoskins like the next guy. But we were all the same people 2 years ago over Rhys Hoskins. And the only reason people liked Rhys Hoskins last year is because he was hurt. And there was right now, when we were going through that April, May kind of slide, or even like in July and August when they had a couple skids before they really turned it on in mid-August. We missed the Rhys Hoskins bat. We missed the Rhys Hoskins bat. Yes, Rhys Hoskins bat can be missed. There's not, and I love Rhys Hoskins. There was no spot for Rhys Hoskins on this team. There wasn't. And listen, he's doing good right now. Then he can go in on a 0 for 40 slump, and then we're not even talking about this. So I get what you're saying. The optics don't look good right now. 2 games. We all know this. And if Rhys Hoskins does the same thing he does every year, that's what's going to happen. You're going to see him like a fail on ESPN when he costs them a game by booting the ball at first base, or if he's DHing, it's not a problem then. But he's on an 0 for 30 kick. So before we start, and like I said, it's pretty cool. He's pissing off the Braves. McNeil's a dork anyway. I'm not the Braves, the Mets. And McNeil's a dork, and he slid. Hey, don't stand on the bag when I'm sliding, pal. That's baseball 101 right there. And he's ruffling their feathers, 4 RBIs. He had a nice jack that really, and he plays well against the Mets. I mean, he really does. So let's not start clamoring to bring back Rhys Hoskins just yet, guys. So a little bit more of the bottom line. Like I said, Aaron Nola struggled. And like I said, his biggest problem was his pitches were just telling. There was no deception on these pitches. There was no movement. There was just nothing at all. Nothing at all that made this seem that would make this hard to hit. He was just throwing some stuff straight, frozen ropes down the plate. and then the Braves just went to batting practice. Again, Braves runners in scoring position were 6 for 15, and the Phillies were 1 for 7. So not the greatest thing. JT had the solo home run. JT's playing a lot better than he did yesterday. He had 3 strikeouts yesterday, but today he had a much better line. And he had the home run, which, listen, it was a solo home run. It didn't mean much in the scheme of things. It made you feel like, okay, maybe they could come back, maybe a spark. No spark there. Harper hit that. Harper had a little bad luck today. There was a ball that the outfield defense played great. That could have scored another run. And the Trey Turner double play hit to who was it? It was Riley. I mean, not Riley. Olsen. It was just hit directly to Olsen and just hit hard. So not a lot of time for Trey Turner to react. So some bad luck hitting there as much. So things, the baseball gods definitely not smiling down on the Phillies as of right now in the last couple days. The hitting and pitching philosophy is a mile wide between Atlanta and Philly. I will agree with you on that. Their philosophy, they do build good teams. They tend to find guys in the farm system. They don't have to always go out and make big splashy signings and build a team. But it's where it begins and where it ends, right? I mean, this team the Braves, have been a good team and 13 games up on the Phillies in the end of the season and get to coast through and get to the playoffs and take the wild card round off and then nothing. Then they fall flat on their face. They lose to a team that the philosophy is different. So you got to kind of look this. You got to look this as the 40,000 feet in the air. You got to look down and look at it as in a whole, not just in these 2 games. Like, this is an 85 win team. I'm going to go 90. I went 90. A 5-game swing could make the world of a difference, but yeah, I still think they're closer to 90 in the end. 162 games. 162 games. I think we can not. The sky isn't falling just yet. Not helping. The sky isn't falling. Why aren't the Phillies never ready to start the season? Well, in the last 5 years, if you look at it, I got to get some of the notes down here. In 2020 they didn't start well. It was 1-2 in the first 3 games. In 2021 they went 3-0. In 2022 they went 2-1, and then last year they went 0-3. So they're 500 in the last 4. In the last 4 seasons, not including now. But yeah, they come in sluggish starts. It's April and May, especially. Guys, if you think this is bad, if the trend continues, May is going to be even worse. I hate to break it to you. Get the starter Braves out in the first inning. They did do that. Star Wars 99, they totally did that. Max Fried was out. He didn't go a whole full inning. He went 2/3 of an inning, could not finish. This game was for the taking for the Phillies when that happened. For the taking. But they didn't capitalize. And that's the key factor here. They did not capitalize. And then on top of it, I don't know if it was the bad pitching from Aaron Nola that just put a sogginess in the team, but that's where guys like Bryce Harper have to step up. JT Realmuto have to step up. Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber. They have to step up and go like, all right, if Aaron Nola's not going to have a good game, let's give him some more. Like, let's not put the pressure on him. Let's give him some runs. Let's hit these guys around. Make them earn it. They didn't make him earn it, and they paid for it dearly. Warfighter 247 says giving up 21 runs in 2 games is unacceptable. 100%. 100%. You're not gonna hear me disagree with any of these things at all. 121, no, should never happen. Normally, especially you would expect, each team, you can't say, well, they're rusty. Well, the Braves should be rusty. This team, whatever is mentally not ready for it. I don't know if, the expectations and, maybe they put some stuff on their head. They got to kind of reformat the brain, the thought process. The expectations were we are tired of sniffing the World Series. We want to take the World Series. Well, that's great, but maybe the undue pressure of that right now, and they just need to change the philosophy. They need to go. I used to say when teams get in ruts like this, like an old 90s movie, they need to go out and get in a bar fight and reconnect with each other and get locked up in jail for a couple hours and figure out their problems. It's a little early for that, but Yeah, I mean, it's unacceptable, Warfighter. Edwin, the Braves team can easily win 120 games. I don't know about easily because that's not something that can easily be done. But if they did, would it completely shock me? No, no, not at all. It's a good Braves team. I mean, they got good pitching, good homegrown hitters, guys. You know, you lose guys like Freddie Freeman, and then yet you don't blink an eye, and then here comes the next guy. You know, just it takes right over for him. The bullpen needs to look at Wheeler pitching. Yeah, they should just like tape their eyes open so you hear watch Zach Wheeler pitch and just try to do that. Maybe easier said than done. But they need to clean it up because Zach Wheeler might be sorry he signed that extension if he thinks if this is a sign of things to come. Make them earn it. The ump gifted you guys a run in an obvious strike 3 on Nick. Jeremiah, you must be just joining us, and you obviously are not. I guess you're a Braves fan. I don't know. Just kind of checking by the terminology. We already said that. I literally started off with that, Jeremiah. I said that this game could have easily been a 12-1 loss. If it wasn't for that walked in a run, this and they wouldn't have been even capitalized. They barely capitalized on getting Max Fried out, and they got gifted that walk because of that obvious strike 3 call. So you're not telling me anything, or any of us who are watching anything we don't know. So yes, we know we were gifted some. That ump was off tonight. He gifted you guys some calls too. That was a big one. Don't get me wrong, but that ump was not doing great today. That strike zone was down and out. You know, it was down, and I guess if you look at the screen to the left, so again, I get your point. You're obviously a Braves fan. I don't know why you're upset about anything. Yeah, you got gifted a little something. I mean, absolutely nothing at the end of the day. You still got the W, and if Braves still walloped us. So, pump your brakes a little bit. Edwin, the Braves lineup 1 through 9 has no weakness. No, I mean, and honestly, 1 through 8 for the Phillies shouldn't have a weakness either. I mean, it's a sad fact that they play like that. Yep, just joining. I'm doing research for my MLB site. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for joining. Make sure you guys, anybody joining, smash that subscribe button, like button, follow, tweet, retweet, whatever it is that you're watching on. It all helps, guys. We do one every post game, every Fighting's final here at Edge of Philly Sports. Sometimes there'll be more than one guy. Sometimes, like today, there'll be just me. So thank you for joining us, because I know it's really tough to join and want to watch anything and talk anything about this team after the kind of start that they had. So thank you for joining us. Let's see. But Rojas' offense needs to be better. Well, Star Wars 99, that was without a doubt. What's your point, Jeremiah? Here to gloat. We've got listen, Warfighter. Hey, listen, everybody's welcome. I'm not telling anybody's not welcome. I already asked him about that. He told us what he's here for. He's here for his research. So real quick, guys, why we look at this, I want to look at around the league right now before we go into the next part. And this is a little segment we call Around the Bases. All right, guys, round the bases. We're just going to take a look around the league today, March 30th, see what's going on. Some games still in action right now, and even a couple more to even start playing. But the Chicago Cubs are down 4-2 to the Texas Rangers in the bottom of the fourth. The Giants are up 2-0 on the San Diego Padres in the top of the fourth. The Yankees are down to Houston, down 2-1 in the bottom of the third. And the Diamondbacks and the Rockies are tied right now. Top of the first game just pretty much started. St. Louis and the Cardinals and Dodgers, they start first pitch at 9:10, and Seattle and Boston 9:40 first pitch. Finals for today: Milwaukee edged the Mets 7-6. Detroit edged the White Sox in extra innings 7-6 as well. And Baltimore put a shellacking on the Angels 13-4. And of course, the only other game we've been talking about right now is the 12-4 shellacking the Braves put on the Phillies. And that is your around the bases in today's MLB. And guys, I remind you that this is brought to you by PhillySportsTrips.com. That's right, PhillySportsTrips.com. PhillySportsTrips.com. When you're trying to get away from it all, because right now you might need to get away from it all. And you're like, hey, do you know what? That Eagles-Brazil game could be an amazing time. Well, go to PhillySportsTrips.com. Sign up now. They are taking deposits now. It's a full week. It's a full vacation, plus the historic game on the first game of the Friday night of the NFL year with the Eagles possibly taking on the Cleveland Browns. We don't know yet. If you want to get away for some Phillies games or you want to take some day trips, PhillySportsTrips.com. They even have international games like the Brazil one, a Germany trip for the Union, so much more. Go to PhillySportsTrips.com. Check it out. Tell them EOP sent you in the Fightins final. And don't forget, if you need tickets to local games, like if you want to go tomorrow, maybe you can get away with your family once instead of having Easter dinner. You want to go to a Phillies game or maybe down the line after they get a little better, or any games at all, sports, concerts, theaters, you name it, they got to go to Sherry'sTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. No hidden fees. There's other guys, you'll get hit with those hidden fees on the way out. But these guys, the price you see on the screen is the price you're going to pay, and you're going to save yourself an additional 10% off with that promo code EOP10. That's right, EOP10 will save you 10% off at Sherry'sTickets.com. Go there now, Sherry'sTickets.com. Sorry about some of the technical issues. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard tonight, but just bear with us. Well, guys, I want to thank you for joining me tonight as well, but we got some more things to go over here real quick. Let's see. As a huge Braves fan, I really do not want to face the Phillies in the playoffs. I prefer facing the Dodgers. Well, I mean, let's be honest. The Braves and the Dodgers kind of have the same issues come the first round of the first round of the NLDS for you guys and us. I mean, for the Dodgers, you guys have the same problem. You keep, you do so well during the year, then you get that time off, and then it's like, I don't know what happens. And does Philly just turn it on? So that's why I'm not getting bent out of shape about it. I understand everybody. This team does not look good, but on paper, you go to almost, and Matty B said it best yesterday. I hate saying that, but Matty B said it best. If you go around to, I don't know, of the 30 teams in Major League Baseball, at least 20 of them, probably more, 25, said, let's switch rosters right now. They would all agree with you in a heartbeat. They would all take this roster in a heartbeat. So that's got to mean something. I'm saying, even right now, how they started, any team would want to take this team roster and put it on their uniform at any point in time. To sort of sit here to tell me that this team is not good right now, game 2, little difficult, little hard pill to swallow. But they are playing like garbage. That is 100% true. You are not going to get that argument from me. And I'm hoping that, 4 or 5 games from now, blip on the radar. We're kind of feeling a little better about ourselves. The team finds their mojo a little bit. I mean, this team isn't playing well. I mean, what has happened is not something indicative of this team. It is this team not playing up to the standard that they can play. This isn't a bad team playing bad. This is a good team playing bad. There's a difference. So that's how I look at things. Star Wars 99, I hope Ranger gets the win tomorrow. You, me, and everybody, mostly everybody else in this chat, except for the few Braves fans who chimed in. Do we have a Braves, Mets, or Marlins final? I don't know. I wouldn't listen to it. Just say, Walt, you're funny, bud. We need a 7th inning pitcher. We need a lot of pitchers. Right now, Junior Marte is our most consistent bullpen piece in 2 games, might I add. But that's got to tell you something. That's not the words you want to hear so far. That's salt in the wound right there. But like I said, this team isn't a bad team playing bad or a bad team playing worse. This is a good team playing bad. So the one positive to a good team playing bad is that they can play better if they can get themselves together. Because even good teams can have bad days. So let's make sure it's not bad weeks and bad months. That's where it comes in. This team needs to be better, needs to play better. That is the key factor here. That is what we're talking about. And they can. I really believe they can. It's hard to believe that this team isn't going to get any better. That they're going to be like last in the division, all that stuff. Again, baseball is a marathon, and this is literally they just shot the gun. You didn't even take your second step yet. So let's just pump the brakes. Just sit there and say this is a bad team. But guys, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Again, the Braves win 12-4. Phillies just off to a really terrible start. Hopefully, it can be better. Tomorrow you'll get Mike Lauro. Maybe he'll be lucky. Maybe right now I'm 0 for 2 in the season with Fighting's finals. Maybe I'm the bad luck charm right now. Maybe I'm the mush in this case. But maybe Mike Lauro can bring us a little love, a little win, a little happiness in our lives. Have a nice Easter family with our family. Turn on the tube and watch the Phillies game. And then when you're done, turn the tube off and go to the EOP Sports, either our website, our social media, and watch us live. And please, guys, keep joining in. We love the Fighting's final. We love doing it. We love doing our post game shows with you, and we love that you chime in. Yeah, even the Braves fans and fans of other teams. I want to hear what you got to say. I mean, you want to gloat? Listen, I know some people are making fun of the guy for Jeremiah for coming in and gloating, but at the same time, if we had the opportunity, we'd probably be gloating too. So it is what it is in that situation. Zach, one last thing. Zach Hines saying shot in their own foot. Yes, they shot them. They Plaxico burst themselves right there. Yep, there you go. But that brings us to the end of the show, guys. Like I said, plenty of EOP sports that came out today. Still, the Flyers are playing. Actually, let me. I was going to try to have it ready, but I was a little slow to the draw. Trying to see where the Flyers are at right now. They're down 2-1 with about 9 minutes left to play in the second period against the Blackhawks. Another team that's got to play better against lesser competition, but all that will be coming at Clear the Ice, and Mike and Pat will be on that tonight post game. And check it out, guys. If you celebrate it, happy Easter tomorrow, and enjoy your day. And if you don't, just enjoy your Sunday. And thank you for joining us. And like I said, if you're new, please subscribe. Please hit. We do this all post games, and we want to keep bringing it on. And we're going to be at live some of them. So come on out, meet some of us, talk with some of us. We would love to talk to you guys live and get your points during the game that I can bring up on the post-game show. So, again, guys, thank you for joining us. I'm Big Al. Phillies fall 12-4, 0-2 in the season right now. Hopefully they can bounce back. Ranger on the mound tomorrow. And that's about it, guys. Have a good night.